Hey, what's up, Closer Nation? It's Ryan Stewman, and look, I want to give you my latest book for free. It's called Elevator to the Top. It's been a bestseller across 15 different lists, including Amazon, different categories, all sorts of websites. You're going to love it. It's all about sales. Everything that you need to know about sales from day one to retirement. It's actionable. It's not feel good, motivational stuff. It's actionable things that you can put into place and obviously close more sales as a byproduct of that. So simply go over to elevatortothetop.com and get the book for free. Just pay for the stamps to get it to your house. Read the book, do what it says, and you will close more sales. Again, elevatortothetop.com. Hey, welcome to the Hardcore Closer Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Stewman, founder of hardcorecloser.com, and this podcast is dedicated to helping you, the sales community, close more deals and get paid what you're worth. Listen, if you're selling cars, homes, financial services, consulting, fitness, solar, man, we love the solar people. If you're door to door, if you're going to networking events, if you're creating funnels, whatever it is, whatever your selling style is, you are invited to hang out with us today and pretty much every day because look, this is episode number 41, which means that by the time you're listening to this, there's at least 40 other episodes full of knowledge that you can get your ears on as well. But listen, the show is dedicated to helping you be able to generate higher quality leads so that you can increase your closing ratios and ultimately charge premium fees so that you can get paid what you're worth. I believe that the modern salesperson is grossly underpaid. The things that we are able to do, the things that we have to finagle, especially those of us in finance and real estate, the way that we have to negotiate, work the deal, we're selling multiple parties, man. We are grossly underpaid, in my opinion. And so I'm doing what I believe in, and that's sitting here before you, trying to help you guys get paid what you're worth. So welcome to episode number 41 of the Hardcore Closer Podcast. Look, I'm glad that you're here. If this is your first time, welcome. Welcome. It's awesome. Thank whoever sent you here because it's going to be some good stuff today. And there's at least 40 other episodes that you can get your ears around too. Make sure you go back and listen to those. If you've been here before, then you know what it is. I need you to get your ass over to iTunes and leave me a 5-star review like my man Jay Martinson 13. Now see, that sounds like that's some believable shit too, right? We can believe that username, but he says podcast dominance. I like that with 5-star dominance. Like maybe it's dominatrix. Maybe it is. Anyway, it says want to hear someone who's been there and done that, has killer content, passionate delivery, and best of all, he tells the truth. I've bought all of his books. Don't be a kangaroo. I love that. Buy something. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I have a chance. Thanks. Hey man, that's awesome. Jay Martinson 13. And speaking of kangaroos, I know y'all seen this video where this dude from Texas, like he goes out and he runs across the field and there's this kangaroo strangling this dog and he like pushes the kangaroo off the dog. The kangaroo, it's like one of them big ass red kangaroos, to the motherfucking Arnold Schwarzenegger motherfuckers, right? And the red kangaroo stands up to him and he's like, "What's up, bitch? What's up?" And the kangaroo's about to punch this dude, maybe like kick him. You know how they do the little tail thing. Well, the old Texan man, good old boy, you know, gotta love us Texans, wearing a flannel and shit, dude. He just squares up like they're in the fucking penitentiary and rocks that motherfucker, like, because you know, like your father taught you, you got to hit somebody first. If you think they're going to attack you, better hit them first. Well, this dude proved why humans run shit in the animal world, right? Because he fucking punched that kangaroo in the face, and the kangaroo just stood there. And the kangaroo stood there with that look like, oh shit, did any of my friends see that? Fuck, man, that fucking hurt. I don't want to fight this dude. This motherfucker hit me in my head. Man, my friends didn't see it. He looks around. It's like his friends ain't nowhere around. He just kind of hops off in the distance. I know that kangaroo's like, "Hey, man, you ain't gonna believe this. They're going to hit in the face by a blimey fucking human." And his friends are going to be like, "Whatever, Robert, you need to lay off the fucking plant, buddy." But anyway, so just think about this. Like, I seen that, like, because of our branding, and if you're new here, we call kangaroos people that don't buy shit from us because, like, you know, people that come in and want a bunch of free stuff, they stuff a bunch of free shit in their pouch and their arms don't reach their back pocket where their wallet is. Like, so we call those people kangaroos. So that's good branding for this show because I was tagged in that video at least 1,000 times. As a matter of fact, somebody posted in our Sales Talk with Sales Pro group last night, and they're like, "Hey, is anybody not going to post that kangaroo video? I haven't seen it in at least the last 5 minutes." So it's pretty funny, but it's a hell of a video. We'll make sure that we embed the video on hardcorecloser.com on this episode so you can take a look in case you've missed it. It's been seen by 300 million people. And it's weird because it's been seen by so many people, and Facebook actually put a graphic warning across. The dude just hits the kangaroo once. He's like, "What, bitch?" And the kangaroo's like, "I don't want none, mate." And then it's like the fucking end of it, right? But they put a parental advisory warning, man. These fucking PETA people, man, they're killing us. Like the kangaroo squared up to him, and it wasn't no like little bitch ass kangaroo either. Like this motherfucker, he did like 4 or 5 years for assault. He been in there doing push-ups. He's out there on the day. He had this dog in the Jimmy Superfly fucking chokehold, man. He really did. And the dog was like over there. It was a big ass dog. It wasn't no like little fucking poodle. This was a hunting dog. These people were out hunting somewhere. This kangaroo had a hold of this motherfucker, right? So, man, they better hope that kangaroo ain't got a bigger brother somewhere looking for this dude. You know, I seen that other meme people post on my wall, and they're like, "Hey, where's the cunt that hit my older brother?" I love it. So, anyway, I've been talking about that dumb shit all day. Let's jump into this episode. Oh, wait. Before we jump into this episode, go over to iTunes and leave me a 5-star review. My goal is to be able to help impact the lives of 300 million salespeople, and I need your help to be able to do that. Give back. I'm giving back by creating this free podcast, doing this every single week for you guys. I ask that you give back by giving me a review so that we can get more people to listen to our podcast here and help them close more sales in the marketplace. So let's get started. Today I want to talk about books, and might seem like off topic, and you might think, well, this is going to be really boring if it's about books. And I'm not going to do book reviews. I'm going to talk about you writing your own book. I looked up the stat yesterday, and in America, there's 250 million people who have taken a survey, and 100% of them said that they wanted to write a book. Now, you can just Google what percentage of Americans want to write a book, and it's the first thing that pops up. That's how I found it. So I don't know how like credible the source is, and most statistics are made up right there on the point, and it was an even number, but you get what I'm getting at here. And I guarantee if you ask any normal, sane human being, "Hey, have you ever thought about writing a book?" They're going to say, "Yeah, I just don't know how. I can't type." They got an excuse. "I can't type. I don't have the time. I don't know how to do it. I've never done it before." Well, the thing about writing a book is no one's ever done it before until they do it. It's not easy, or everyone would do it. And I first started writing a book when I went to prison. In 2007, I started writing a book, and I was writing it by hand. I had spiral notebooks in there. Well, I shouldn't say spiral because you can't have the metal thing, but I had some notebooks in there. And I was writing this book by hand, and I got about 6 chapters into it. And my, at the time, wife was cheating on me and left me. And I went through a tough time, regardless to say, not to like get all dark here on the podcast, but I didn't finish my damn book. But I learned firsthand that it was difficult to write a book. It wasn't something easy. Even 6 chapters in, with all the time in the world, locked up in extreme focus, I still let something distract me from writing that book. Now, at this point in my life, I realized that it wasn't time to write the book yet, because that book wouldn't have been the book. When the time arose and the right opportunity came, then I obviously wrote Hardcore Closer, and that's what I'm going to talk about with you on this episode. Is maybe it's time for you to write a book. Now, first and foremost, I don't have anything to sell you here. I don't have a how to write a book thing. I don't have an affiliate how to write a book thing. I don't have anybody to recommend to you on how to write a book. That's not what this is about. So don't go, "Oh, here it is. Stewman's going to put some kind of weird book sales pitch on." And if I did, fuck, it's a sales show. Fuck, it's my right. Yeah, but that's not what's going on here today. So here's the thing. If you look at the trajectory, big words here. If you look at the trajectory of my company's earnings, and you parallel them with the release of my books, you'll see that about the time that I released Hardcore Closer, maybe a month and a half after, because it takes a little while of promotion for people to experience and know the book exists and everything else, and then realize that I've written a book and all that stuff. So about 2 months after I released Hardcore Closer to the marketplace, my sales, my leads, and my income have gone like straight through the roof since then. And I believe it is not a coincidence. I believe I have been marketing harder since that, but I believe the book gave me the confidence to really step out there, because here's the thing. Many of us that listen to this show, we're in the 1% income wise. If you make, $100 grand, $200,000 a year or more, then figuratively over the course of the entire planet, you're in the 1%. However, it's pretty easy to achieve that if you think about it, especially for those of us in sales. But I wanted to be in the 1% in another category as well. And I know that less than 1% of the population have written a book, and the living population anyway. And so I wanted to join that. And I thought, man, you know what? Smart people that have money write books and they talk about their experiences. And my experiences have been quite entertaining. So it took me 7 months to write from start to finish, Hardcore Closer. Now, I'll give you an idea of some stuff about this and how I did it and everything else and why you should do it. So the first thing is the book is 70,000 words. And turns out that is not even a long book. It's like 230 pages. And so these guys that write like James Patterson novels and all this other stuff, man, they're writing, 150,000 words or whatever the case. It is a lot of words. And so the book is 230 pages, and you can get it on Amazon, but I'm not here to sell that to you today. I'd actually prefer that you go to elevatortothetop.com and grab that book for free, The Elevator to the Top. But I'm just telling you about my first experience writing this book. And so Hardcore Closer, I wrote it in Evernote, and I paid somebody to go back through the book and edit it. And it's my biography, so it was really painful. I've had a colorful life in the sense of prison and drugs and all the shit we've already talked about in the first 5 minutes of this podcast here, right? And I wanted to tell that story for a few reasons. A, so that my enemies and competitors couldn't hold that above my head. If I put it in a book and put it out there, there was really no way they could talk behind my back if I did it out there to the public. B, I need to get shit off my chest. If I was going to be popular and people were going to do business with me, I wanted them to know who I really was. I didn't want them to find out down the road that I was somebody different than they originally had thought. I wanted people to know who the fuck I really am and do business with me on that basis, not do business with me on some fake false agreement that we have. So I wanted to just put it out there. And when people do business with me, investors, clients, first thing I send them is my Hardcore Closer book so they know who they're fucking with. Oftentimes before we take their money, we send them that book so that they know. The last thing I want to do is have somebody feel misled, so I just put my information out there. Now, that's not the route that I recommend for everybody, but in the business that I'm in and the lifestyle that I've lived, it was a golden opportunity for me to capitalize on that. There is a lot of reasons you should write a book. And writing a book is pretty difficult. It really is. There's a lot of people that tell you, oh, there's easy ways to do it, and even the easy ways are difficult. My buddy Dustin Black has been editing his book for damn near a year now. He's such a perfectionist. But it just goes to prove the amount of time that it can take you to do it, which is why only 1% of the people write books. So you think about it, 1% of the people are willing to do the work to earn millions of dollars, and 1% of the people are willing to do the work to write a book. What does that tell you about the 1% that are willing to do the work? So when you write a book, you enter into a world of smart people, right? You tell people that you wrote a book, they automatically think that you're brilliant. It's crazy. As long as you don't write some like weird romance novels, if you say some shit like that, people are like, oh, you're one of those fucking people. But if you write a business book or an educational book or whatever you want to call Hardcore Closer, right? Like a biography, suspense, thriller type thing, people have a respect for you. When I started in this business, I would say I'm an entrepreneur, and people looked at me like, oh, this guy, he probably lives in his in-laws basement, which was kind of true, and doesn't have his act together. And when I started becoming a prolific internet marketer, I would say I'm an internet marketer, and people would look at me again like, oh, whatever, this guy's probably broke as fuck. And then I would tell people that I'm a sales trainer, and they would look at me like I'm kind of seedy. Oh, this guy's he's like a Zeke Ziegler. He's kind of like seedy. He's trying to copy some shit. But when I had a book, people asked me what I do for a living. I'm like, well, I have a best-selling book. I write books. I write blog posts, those kind of things. People are like, wow, that is amazing. And the truth is, I don't make any fucking money from the books, and neither will you. I have given away 952 books in the last 15 days. There is like $0 to be. I'm losing money. For every book I get rid of, it costs me about $4. And times that by 900, we're going to sell. I keep saying sell. We're going to give away 5,500 books altogether. So, I mean, you can do the math on that. And the reason why is because I want to get these books in people's hands, first of all, because they're awesome books. You can go to elevatortotop.com if you didn't hear that earlier, and get one for free. It's like $7.95 shipping. I'm looking it up right now. And you can get your hands on one over there. First of all, I want to get everybody's hands on the book because it's a good book. Second of all, I know that when people formulate your words and everything into a book, and people get that book in their hands and they see and they understand, especially if they experience results from it, they're going to reach out to you. So the money's not really in selling books. A lot of people think, oh, I tell people I'm an author. They're like, oh, wow, you must be like super rich making a bunch of money off books. I'm like, dude, you have to sell millions of fucking books to make any money. I mean, we're talking about giving something away in $7.95 in stamps and print for this particular book. Most books sell from $9 to $19 on Amazon, and with zero ads or zero any way of letting people know that you have a book. You have, like, I'm talking about, like, just even if you're lucky enough to just have a huge network of people that'll just come spend $10 to $20 for your book, you'd have to sell, in order to make $100,000, you would have to sell like 10,000 books. And that's a lot of people. Do you know 10,000 people personally? And so I just want you to get that in your mind, that it's not easy. There's not a lot of money that can be made from books sales. However, the people that read your books, that relate to the stories you told in the books, will reach out to you and will become clients. I experience this every day. Maybe many of you listening to this right now have read one of my books or the other and reached out and became a client one way or another. I appreciate you for that, first of all. That's why I wrote the book, to help you out, and then so that we could connect through my writing. But there's every reason that you should write a book, and here's why. Most people don't do it, so you need to dedicate the discipline to do it. Here's the thing. My buddy Satem Magali yesterday, he was preaching to our tribe. That's our high-end mastermind, and he was leading the Motivational Monday yesterday, and he said, just stop stopping. Most people, they don't commit to stuff, and then when they commit, they stop. Just stop stopping. And he's exactly right. Most people, they'll commit to writing a book. They'll get 6 chapters in like me, and something will happen. It'll distract them. They'll never finish it. You have to make the decision. Commit to writing a book. Here's what I did for hardcorecloser.com. I said, I'm going to write an hour or 1,000 words every day. Did I keep that commitment? I fucked up some days. I go out drinking, have a hangover, somebody be at the house, whatever. But I didn't miss very many days. And some days I wrote for 2 hours, and some days I could only write for 30 minutes. But I did it every day, just like working out, just like going to the office. You go to the office to get paid every day. Write the book because you will get paid every day. People reach out to me every single day because, as a byproduct of the book, because they've read it. The thing about a book is, when you have this, there's other avenues as well. Everybody has business cards. Now all of a sudden you go somewhere, you can hand out a book. And there's a couple things that are huge components to books. First of all, you need to have a snazzy cover. They say don't judge a book by its cover. That is bullshit. That is exactly what people do. You know you do it. I do it. We all do it. The cover's bullshit. The book is bullshit, unless somebody personally told us the book is not bullshit. But a cover sells a book. And so keep that in mind. The cover sells the book, so you want to make sure you get a good cover done. Maybe I get Rob Cicades to do mine. If you want to hit him up, he's well worth the money that he charges to do it. Great guy, and knows what he's doing. You can hit him up. He's a guy that's done all my books and then some. He's designed all of our logos and everything else. But you can go anywhere you want and get a book cover, but it's got to be a book cover that you would pick up. If you saw it in the airport and you were about to get on a plane, would you pick your book? The cover and the words on the cover are what's going to sell that book. So when you have a good looking book and you're at a networking event, or people are stopping by your office, or they come in or whatever, and you hand them a good looking book that you wrote that has some girth, it's a little thick to it, right? A couple hundred pages, people, they automatically respect you. What if you're selling cars and someone shows up on the lot and they're thinking about the difference between buying an Infiniti or a Lexus, and you sell Infinitis and you tell them that you're the foremost authority and why Infinity's better and everything else. or why infinity is better and everything else. And you hand them a book on like 7 common mistakes the average buyer makes when they're buying their first luxury vehicle. And you wrote the book on that shit, you know? Like, how you think they're going to trust the dude at the next dealership over the dude that wrote the fucking book on this stuff? I don't think so. You know, like, just think of how you could position yourself. You're the real estate agent. I have plenty of real estate agents that have been in my tribe that I've helped them write a book. And we have a few that are writing books right now. Jose out of Colorado Springs is one of them that wrote a book, and he wrote it about home buyers in his areas, like what to do when you're buying a house in Colorado Springs or something like that. And when he goes to listing presentations, or when he works with buyers, or he has his team work with them, they give them his book. He gives them his book. Even if they don't read it, the fact that that dude wrote a book on the local market he sold cases of these things, given them away rather. Even if like they never read the book, they know that the dude that they're working with wrote a book about real estate. I was one time in Arizona at a $1 Million Masterminds event that I put together with my old business partner, and the people that won the award for the most homes sold that year wrote a book. And they were old as shit. They were old people, like in their 70s. But the dude wrote a book. And they wrote a book about real estate in Scottsdale. And people knew them as the go-to people because they wrote the book on Scottsdale real estate. And so they were also the 1%, because people know if you have the discipline to write a book and the knowledge and the experience to write a book, then you're the real deal. Here's the other great thing. You can go on the local news and promote your book for free. If you do it right, if you've written a good book with a good cover and a great headline and there's good purpose behind it. You see, my buddy John the other day comes to me and he asked for advice on writing a book. He said he's an inspector, and he said, you know, I'm going to write a book and tell the story of my life. I'm like, dude, you're an inspector. Nobody gives a fuck about your life. No offense, but nobody really gives a shit about some dude. Like, yes, you've made some good money, but that's just not your spiel. And he's like, yeah, but man, I want people to know who I am. I want to do business. I was like, I get that. It worked for me. It's not going to work for you, though. Here's what you're going to have to do. And I gave him, I can't share this with you guys, what he paid me for, but I gave him an outline on how to write it. The book that he needed to write for his audience, because we realized that his audience wouldn't want to read a book about him. If someone wanted to, what kind of enticement could you send for an inspection that someone would want to read? We came up with that. And the thing is, that is going to be a bestseller for him, because it's going to be something easy that realtors will give away to their clients, makes them look smart. It ropes him in. He built a network of people to help him write the book the way that we set up. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Then he can take that book, because of the title and the catchiness and everything else, and go to the local news, and he can be the man that wrote the book on the subject that we came up with. You can do the same for your business. If I wanted to, right now, I could go get on the local Channel 4 or Channel 5 news with my Hardcore Closer book, and I could just be like, you know, local hometown boy convicted of multiple felonies, does 4 years behind bars, comes out, helps other felons, and builds a multiple $1 million business. Right? That's something that they would get me on the news in light of all this bullshit going on in today's economy. Motherfuckers hate this, that, and the other, and offended by this, that, and the other. Like, that would be like something that the news channels would want. Trust me, I can spin it and sell it. Just not into that shit. Fuck the media. Anyway, it's why we over here on the podcast, and we ain't buying spot. We can afford to do what the fuck we want. There's a reason why we're over here doing podcasts and keeping shit underground, and we're not on like 105.3 here in Dallas or whatever. We can buy a spot wherever the hell we want. We keeping it off the media. Fuck the media, man. The new media. That's what's up. Anyway, I got a little sidetracked there. But if you like the media, or if, you know, the media loves to lie, so you could just get on there and lie like a motherfucker about your book, and they'll probably bring you back on again. You just get back on there and tell more lies if you're into that kind of thing. Just being sarcastic here. Don't mistake that for being real. So listen, when's the best time to start a book? Right now. Right fucking now. Make a commitment. Maybe it's not 1,000 words a day for you. Hey, I'm a writer. 1,000 words a day for me is nothing. Right now, I write about 6,000 words a day in blog posts and everything else. So it's nothing for me. Obviously, most of you listen to this are not going to be on that level. Start with 100 words a day. Decide that you're going to write a chapter a day. Make your chapter short like James Patterson. Nobody want no fucking long-ass chapters anyway. Make your chapter short like a James Patterson novel. You say, well, man, I don't even know how to write. I don't even know how to type. Fuck your excuses. Nobody does until they do it. I'm not formally trained how to type, but if you ask Robert, he would tell you I'm a fast typing son of a bitch. He's like, dude, when we're talking and I'm over here typing, and before the podcast, he's like, man, your fingers are just fucking cold on that keyboard. I taught myself this shit. You know how? I practiced every single day until I memorized the keyboard. And I've been doing it ever since, just like playing the piano. It's no different playing the guitar. So the best time to start is now. And guess what? Once you get that first book, I have 4 books out right now. The first one was hard as hell. The other 3, they all came out within 6 months of the first book. I released, boom, a flood of books. I've got another one that's already done. That's at the editor right now. Y'all know about it. I'm telling you, after you get the first one done, it becomes easy. It's like the first month that you're working out is a bitch. Month 2, it's just kind of like the thing you do. It's muscle memory. That's all. So the best time to start is that you become the 1%. You become the instant expert. People will buy your shit. Say it costs me $4 for every person that buys a book. It ends up costing me $4. It's probably going to be more like $8. It's going to cost me per person to take my book because of the ads and factoring, shipping, and all that stuff. So let's say it costs me that, but my goal is when someone reads this book to reach out to me and they join our Break Free Academy entourage for $297 a month recurring, and they never leave us because we continue to add awesome content. We continue to send them gifts in the mail. They're subscribed to the newsletter that we mail to them every single month, and they belong to a network of top producers, right? That's the goal of that. And so I know that if I can spend, let's say, $10 up front and lose $10 to get a book in somebody's hand, then I can afford to do that 30 times before I'm actually taking a loss, because surely 1 out of 30 that I put the book in is going to end up signing up for the program. It's going to be more like 5 out of 30. So I'm willing to lose that money on the back end, then I make it back month 1 in sales, and then month 2 it's a recurring because I continue to deliver what I'm supposed to back there. So when you write a book, don't just write a book for some bullshit. Write a book with a purpose. Like my buddy John, he's got a book that now his referral partners will give out on his behalf because they'll like it, they'll enjoy it, they want to give it out. It's the perfect solution for a problem that they're facing. Same with me. It's like the end goal of my book is for people to read it and want to work with me. So when you write a book, have a purpose to it, a call to action. But most of all, just do it. So here's the bottom line. Are you going to write a book or not? I've given you, I've done everything for you in this episode, but wrote the book and told you what to write it about. I can't do that for you. But you have no excuses. You know all the benefits in the world. And if you write a book, hey, it's awesome. People will fucking high five you and promote it for you. Your mom will be proud. Your dad can finally fucking say that, like, my son got his shit together, my daughter got her shit together and wrote a book. Think of all the people that would support you and help you move your book. But write a book with your ideal client in mind, because that's the key. Find out who you want to read your book, write that book for them, and then benefit from it. Make sure there's a call to action, use your services. So, hey, if this is your first time over here at the Hardcore Closer podcast, make sure you come back, listen to other episodes. We're glad that you're here. Hey, invite the people in your office. Tell folks about us on social media. Tell your friend, tell your cousin, tell someone. Get them over here so that we can help them learn about things like writing books as well. You can get the THC Podcast app by texting THC Podcast to 44222. That'll also give you a digital copy of my latest book, so you can use your books for shit like that too. If you want to find me, Ryan Stewman, on social media, go to clixo.com/closer. And all my social medias, they all be right there in one spot, man. And make sure you leave us a damn review, right? I have to ask constantly. That's my call to action. That's it. I don't ever try to sell y'all shit on this show other than sell you on getting your ass over to iTunes and leaving me a 5-star review, please. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for hanging out. Later.